Why on earth would anyone believe in the resurrection of Jesus? We're here in Cambridge at Tyndale House to speak to two guys who spend their lives studying the accuracy of the Bible to find out.
What is the resurrection about? Did it really happen? What really happened to Jesus? And what will happen to the Christian who's joined to Jesus, in the end?
Crucifixion was a public event. It was always done somewhere which would be seen, and in the case of the Gospels, we see it set by a road. That's why it talks about people passing by. The Romans were good at executing people. Their soldiers were professionals. They'd done it many times. And so the thought that they could crucify someone and somehow this person might survive, I think it is just ridiculous. It went on for a long time. They would check that they were dead at the end.
This is what Christians believe. Christ died for our sins, that he was buried, and he was raised on the third day, according to the Scriptures.
Well, what we can see clearly when we look at the accounts of the resurrection in the four Gospels is that they haven't been created by some collusion. They're independent accounts, so you expect them to be independent and different. That's not a problem. In fact, if there had been collusion, we would expect people to try to get rid of any differences between them and to make sure they fit very neatly together, which they don't.
Who was at the cross? The women. Who went to see where they laid Jesus in the garden, in the tomb? The women. Who were there on that Easter Sunday morning? The women. That they have the continuity. The women provide the continuity and they provide the witness. They see the empty tomb. And Mary Magdalene does meet the risen Jesus. So this is a very unusual in the ancient world, that something so important will be witnessed only by women. Initially, of course, the disciples meet Jesus, the risen Jesus again later, and their witness is absolutely fundamental. But initially, it's the women, and that's absolutely abnormal. It would never be invented like this. So it's very important and countercultural, and not at all the sort of thing you would add in if you were kind of inventing stories about resurrections.
In the Gospels, I think we're dealing with a bodily resurrection, something that's tangible, something that leaves the tomb empty. So that body has actually come out of the tomb. So it's that sort of way. And also in the epistles, it's so striking that this is bodily because Christians start building a doctrine on this. They start saying, because Christ has been raised physically, that means Christians also will be raised physically. Right from the very beginning, Christianity spread fast. How did it spread? Because it had a message. The message isn't just that someone died. It isn't even just that someone died and rose again. It's actually that someone died and rose again and brings new life because their death is on behalf of others.
So that's Easter, and now is a great time of year to be speaking to a Christian friend, going along to a church service, or even doing a course, something like Christianity Explored. Because the Bible's Easter story is making massive claims, but if the evidence points to those claims being true, then it definitely bears us investigating it further.